Welcome back to another episode of the BJack 70 Show. I'm your host, Brandon Jackson, and it's time for another episode of Brandon's Bets. But before we get into it, just want to say real quick, like the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe on Spotify. If you haven't seen it yet, it will be in the description box below. Go ahead and click the link and watch my video on Baker Mayfield, running his mouth on Twitter, talking about Kevin Stefanski getting shipped out like a piece of garbage. If you want to see that whole rant, that was just a live stream of consciousness for 17 minutes, me talking about Baker Mayfield. Go ahead and watch that on the channel. But appreciate you being here. We're going to get into some picks for this weekend's NFL championship games. It's championship game weekend, AFC, NFC, Final Four teams. But we're going to get right into it. Just go ahead, give a little bit of analysis and who I'm picking. So let's go ahead and start off with the New England Patriots at the Denver Broncos with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. No Bo Nix, but they're at home. They're underdogs. They're 4.5-point underdogs at home. These teams, both of these teams are really interesting. You have on one hand, you have the Patriots, who have an MVP candidate at quarterback, who hasn't played his best football in the playoffs. He has played two very good defenses, and he will play another one on Sunday. Hasn't played his best, but has shown flashes of greatness, has thrown some amazing passes when he needed to make the passes. They've been able to win anyway on the back of their defense. Their defense is getting hot. Their defense is applying pressure. When the playoffs started, I picked against the Patriots because I didn't think that they had a pass rush good enough to take advantage of the Chargers' offensive line that was decimated, but I was wrong. They had a pass rush good enough to affect Justin Herbert. They had a pass rush good enough to affect CJ Stroud, cause all types of inaccurate passes, turnovers, fumbles, everything you can think of from CJ Stroud. It's not just their front guys. They are blitzing. They are blitzing a lot more than they have been during the regular season. They're currently blitzing at a rate in the playoffs of 44%, which is going to be first in the National Football League. And that's up from about 28 or 29% that they were doing in the regular season. So they're getting after the quarterback. They're getting after the quarterback and daring whatever quarterback that is on the other side of them to see it coming, to feel what's happening, and make plays. And that opposing quarterback just hasn't been able to do it. Justin Herbert wasn't able to get anything done. We talked ad nauseum about what CJ Stroud did in that football game. And it's up to Jarrett Stidham on the other side, the now starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. It's up to him to be able to feel that pressure, see where it's coming from, know where the ball needs to get that ball out quickly. And can he do it? Who knows? Who really knows? Last time Jarrett Stidham had real NFL action that wasn't in the preseason was 2023. He is an NFL quarterback. He can make some NFL throws. But it's just not dynamic enough to be a starter, just not consistent enough to be a starter. But all in all, seems like a pretty good guy to be your backup quarterback. A pretty good guy to have in the building, have in the quarterback room, a good hand to have on your team, if you will. to be called upon in a situation like this. Bo Nix, broken ankle, won't play. And it's super unfortunate because I felt like Bo Nix played easily the best game of his NFL career against the Bills, maybe of his life. Who knows? Um, but I think he played extremely well against the Bills. Even I don't even know what the box score was, but if you look at the box score, just watching the game and watching the throws that he made in timely situations. I talked about that a lot on Tuesday. Just timely situations, because situational football, complementary football. Bo Nix was the best quarterback of last weekend to do that. And I said it on the podcast. He earned my respect, and I'm very sad that he is not able to reap the benefits of what he was able to do against Buffalo and play in this AFC Championship game for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Not able to reap that benefit individually, but his team is still in position to do so. So looking at both these teams, I have not believed fully in either of these teams all season. I've bet against both of these teams at points. I've known Denver's defense is very good. The Patriots defense has become very good. All season we've looked at the Patriots and we've looked at their schedule, who they've played, the quality of opponent that they've played, and in this game, it comes down to, are the New England Patriots who they say they are? Are they for real? Is this an illusion? Are they a very good team that has played against lackluster competition and has made hay while the sun is shining while doing that? Or are they only looking like they're a good team because of the lackluster opposition that they've played? Like, are they good independent of their schedule, or are they being propped up because they've kept winning these games against subpar teams? In these playoffs, the offense has, I don't want to say struggled, but the offense has failed to get a good rhythm going in both of these games. I believe if the Texans got, maybe 25% better quarterback play out of CJ Stroud, they could have won this game. The Patriots won that game by 12. They should have won it by 40 with what was going on the other side. It's really tough because you have the Patriots on that side. We wonder if they're real or an illusion. And then on the other side, you have a team in the AFC Championship that lost their starting quarterback. They have a backup quarterback playing for the first time this season in the AFC Championship game. You hate to see it, and you wonder if the team around that quarterback is good enough to pick up the slack. Are the Denver Broncos a good enough team to cover for the fact Bo Nix is out? Especially hard to think about given what Bo Nix gave them against the Buffalo Bills. If Bo Nix wasn't the quarterback for the Broncos against the Buffalo Bills, they lose that game last week. They definitely lose that game last week. I cannot overstate how much I respect what Bo Nix did, and that's so hard to talk about because he's not going to play in this game. I look at with the Denver defense. I'm going back to last week what Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson were able to do to Will Campbell on the edge, which was complete and utter domination. The Broncos have, a guy that's maybe not as good as Will Anderson, and a couple, in the future, we're gonna have my guy Kyron Samuels on to talk about Will Anderson specifically and what we've seen from him. And he is an elite player, an all-pro, a defensive player of the year candidate, finalist. Nick Benito may not be on Will Anderson's level, but it's Myles Garrett and Will Anderson Jr., and then Nick Benito is at the top of the rest of that list. My fault. Micah Parsons is up there with them, and then the rest of that group, Nick Benito is looking down on a lot of the rest of the league. Yeah, Pittsburgh, I'm talking to you. I'm talking about TJ Watt down there. Nick Benito is looking eye to eye, shoulder to shoulder with Max Crosby. He's that good of a pass rusher. So I'm looking at him against Will Campbell. What do the Patriots do to prevent domination happening coming across the edge this weekend? Because that was ugly. That was ugly to watch. And Drake May also has to adjust to that in game. He can't just be back there in the pocket, oblivious to what's going on behind him. Like he might need to just take a peek over there on that left side, just to make sure he's not about to get clobbered upside the head. But on that defensive line, it's not just Nick Benito. Jonathan Cooper is playing extremely well on the other side. Zach Allen is there. John Franklin Myers is there. They have an extremely talented front four. Hufanga in the secondary is coming up to smack shit. Alex Singleton, we saw him smack shit last week. Patrick Surtain is coming with the seatbelt to lock shit up. Stephon Diggs, you put your big boy pants on this Sunday, because you're gonna have to figure something out. You're gonna have to see PS2. You're gonna have to see PS2 across that field. But this one's really difficult. This one was really difficult for me to pick. And in the end, it came down to, do I believe that the New England Patriots are a real contender? And I know that sounds super dumb to say, because here they are in the AFC Championship, but due to the circumstances of who they played against, we still kind of don't know. And I'm going to go ahead and be on the side of the Denver Broncos. I'm going to take the Denver Broncos plus 4.5, and I'm gonna say that they're gonna win outright. I think Jarrett Stidham has just enough to be able to execute what Sean Payton wants to get done. I think he has enough. Cortland Sutton, I don't know if J.K. Dobbins is going to actually play, but R.J. Harvey in the backfield. The Broncos ran it pretty well against Buffalo. They're obviously going to have to look to continue that success. Um, they're going to have to figure out this New England defensive scheme and then blitzing 44% of the time. They're going to have to figure that out. But I do trust Sean Payton, a Super Bowl winning head coach, to be able to game plan and scheme up a backup quarterback. And then on the other side, I think that front four is going to do its work. Nick Benito, Jonathan Cooper, Franklin Myers, Zach Allen, like them boys up front are going to have something to say about this game. This Denver Broncos defense has been very, very good. And this New England Patriots team, they've just shown me enough missteps, enough hiccups throughout these two playoff games they've already played for me to be nervous enough to take the Denver Broncos. So again, I'm taking the Broncos plus 4.5. I think they'll go ahead and win outright. This should be interesting. This should be interesting. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to learn a lot pretty quickly in this one, I think. Because if this game kicks off, the Broncos get the ball first, and we see Stidham just doesn't have it, this one's going to be wrong early. I feel like it's going to be wrong early if he just doesn't have it. I think they're going to have to get a good start fast, and be able to play with a lead in order to take advantage of the matchups that I think they are on the better side of. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Broncos to win plus 4.5, and we'll see how it goes. So, and then on the other side, the NFC Championship, we got the Los Angeles Rams at the Seattle Seahawks. Third time they're facing off. It's 1-1. First game was 38-37, I think, or 39-38, one of those. First game was 21-19. Both teams have won. The Rams are 2.5-point underdogs going into Seattle. Seattle's run game has the last two games that they've played against the Niners, whose run defense was really bad. So I don't know how much we want to take away from them running the ball heavily against the Niners, because the Niners were giving up rush yards all year. No Zach Charbonnet. We will see if they have their starting left tackle. See if they have their backup left tackle. They might be on their third string left tackle going into this game. Going against Jared Verse might be an issue, might be something that you have to deal with going into the game. But we'll see. We'll see how this run game gets going against the Rams. Sam Darnold last week didn't have to do much. He threw a touchdown to JSN. After that, pretty much shut it down. It wasn't necessary. It was a rout. They beat the Niners like they stole something. It was ugly. And this Seattle defense, are they the best in the league? Are they better than the Texans are? Are they better than the Broncos? They probably are. I feel like this Seattle defense is the best defense in the league, in a league with a few excellent top flight defenses that we've seen, and I think Seattle is the best one. They've absolutely dominated. But the one quarterback that they didn't dominate against was Matt Stafford. on that Thursday night football game, Stafford went for 400, 3 touchdowns. Like he torched them. He torched them. Can he do it again? I think they'll have something to say about that. I don't think he'll have an unbelievable stat line like like he did before. But this Rams offense is just littered with producers on offense. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Colby Parkinson has stepped up. Terrence Ferguson has stepped up. Kyron Williams and Blake Corum splitting the work in the backfield have stepped up. Matthew Stafford, who I believe is the MVP, believe is going to be named the MVP next week or in 2 weeks from now. I think that this Rams offense has all of the weapons to get it done. And I've seen them have success against the Seahawks. It's just we've seen what the Seahawks are capable of the last few times that we've seen them. And again, the Seattle Seahawks defense beat the 49ers with hammers. Like, it was an abomination what they did to the San Francisco 49ers. Again, don't think that's going to happen to the Los Angeles Rams, but it could. That's the thing, that's what's in my brain right now. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could. It doesn't usually happen in the playoffs for Matthew Stafford, but it could be one of those random games, a couple turnovers, a pick here, a fumble there, missed third down here, incompletion on fourth down there. You just never know. But that is not his MO. So who do I think is going to come out on top? Who do I think is going to win? Who am I going to take? What side of the spread am I going to take? This one was a little bit easier for me to think about because I took the Bears last week against the Rams, but personally I thought whoever won that game was going to go on and represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. So here I'm going to take the Los Angeles Rams plus 2.5 and to win outright. I'm going 2 underdogs on championship weekend. I'm taking the Rams to cover and win. And this is not the last couple times that I've bet against the Seahawks, I've called Sam Darnold out by name. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to disrespect him again by calling him out, wondering if he's going to show up to play. If he does, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But I have to give him the respect that he's earned, and he's played well enough for me to not expect him to melt down. I think the Rams will be able to do enough to win this on their own volition, not because of a Sam Darnold meltdown. I think they're good enough. They haven't played their best game. They definitely haven't played their best offensive game in these playoffs. I think they finally get it together. I think Matthew Stafford puts it all together. Puka Nacua, this is going to be a battle of maybe the top 2 receivers in the league. I know Jamar Chase, I know Justin Jefferson are going to fight me for saying that, but they're still, these 2 guys are still playing, and they've proven it, and they're the guys, up for offensive player of the year. So they have the right to say the top 2 receivers in the league right now on opposite sides. I think Puka Nacua is going to show what he's been capable of all season. He's been producing every time he's on the field all season, and I see no reason for that to stop on Sunday. Last time they played for 3 quarters, the Rams held Jackson Smith-Njigba in check, had 0 catches for a significant portion of that football game. Do I think that's going to happen again? No. But do I think that he's going to go crazy again? Again, it's possible, but I don't think it's going to happen. I have belief in this Rams team. I have belief in both coordinators. I have belief, Chris Shula is going to be a head coach at one of these teams. Shieldhouse is going to be a head coach, if not of the Cleveland Browns. Next year, he's going to be somebody's head coach very soon, coming up shortly. Sean McVay. Sean McVay is the one guy that makes me a little bit nervous, because in these situations he'll get conservative. He'll get a little antsy, get a little anxiety. For that to not be a factor, the Rams are just going to have to be in a position to play from a lead for McVay to not have to worry about, do we go for this 4th down? Do we take the points? Do we bitch out and run the ball on 3rd and 8 before a 2-minute warning? Hopefully those decisions get taken out of his hands, because the Rams are winning. Hopefully he doesn't really have to worry about that, and it's not close enough for his conservatism to matter. So I got the Rams plus 2.5, got them to win. I'm taking 2 underdogs. NFC, AFC Championship weekend, taking 2 underdogs. I feel good about it. Record is 4-6. Yeah, record is 4-6. We're gonna get this 2-0, get to 500, and then we're gonna crush the Super Bowl bet. So we're gonna finish over 500 in the playoffs against the spread. Yeah, man, that's it. That's another episode of Brandon's Bets. Hope you enjoyed the analysis again. I implore you, if you haven't seen it and you want some entertainment, go check out my Baker Mayfield video. And again, if you're here, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let somebody know, tell a friend and tell a friend. I'm better than your favorite bettor, and we'll keep the party going. So once again, appreciate you being here, and until the next time, I will see you.